Folks, folks, I thank y'all for clicking on to the Big Boss Man Collective. We're going to be doing something just a little bit slightly different today, but not really slightly different. Excuse me. I thank y'all for clicking on and staying on and clicking on, staying all the way to the end. If you've been looking at any of the lives that are leading up to today, then you already know that we're going to be doing some little more in-depth teaching on, I don't even want to say manifestation type stuff, because that kind of gets hooey-tooey and people get spooked out by that. But we're going to be speaking on how we can position ourselves to get what we're supposed to get in 2024. How am I going to position myself to get what I'm supposed to get? See, some of you have landed on this page because in previous years you didn't get what you were supposed to get. You got what people wanted to give, you got what people wanted to leave, you got the crumbs. But we want to position ourselves so that when the clock and the ball drop going into 2025, we say, man, I did my thing. I got my stuff. I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I felt like I was sent here to do. I did the things that align with my highest vibration. I did the things that make me smile. I did the things that make me happy. I didn't do the leftovers. I didn't do what I just could scrounge up and do. I live my life to the fullest in 2024. That's what I want for you. But what we got to do is what we're doing in these next couple months is we are going to be recreating our whole personality. We're going to be doing a personality overhaul, not a personality U-Haul, a personality overhaul. Okay, these is what these little classes are going to be. This is your personality overhaul, because let's just be honest. Your personality that you currently are, if you did not overhaul it right now today, it's only going to give you what you have right now today. You have maxed out your current personality. We're not talking about talent. We're not talking about attributes. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, based on the person that I am today, I done got all the stuff that the person I am today is supposed to get. Not saying it's you, I'm just saying. Use that as your gauge. And how do we do that? How do you do a personality overhaul? Well, before you start overhauling anything, it starts with an assessment. Some of you need to do a personality assessment. See, my daughter today she's taking her mid-year exams, and then they'll take another exam at the end of the year, but they took one when they got there. They took one in the very first week of school. And they take this one in the very first week of school because we just got to establish a baseline. The thing about establishing the baseline is it forces us to deal with the truth, and the truth sometimes can be hurtful. But in this season, you done been hurt by so many other things. Don't let the truth hurt you. Don't let the truth hurt you until it incapacitates you. There's been many other things to hurt you. So there has to be a personal assessment done to set the benchmark where you are. Because what they want to see from the kids is how much progress did you make from the beginning of school to mid-year? How much progress did you make from mid-year to the end of school? How much progress did you make from the third grade to the fourth grade? How much progress did you make from first grade to third? But before we do any of that, we got to have an assessment. Now you do, honestly, I don't even think it's a bad idea for you to find some type of personality and self-assessments you can take online to kind of get a profile of where you are and where your personality is right now. I'm going to give you questions to ask yourself. How much am I currently making right now? Who are my top 5 closest associates on the phone? If I'm pulling up my phone, I'm going to call 5 people. Who are they? What they got going on? What do I actually like doing? What do I dislike? What do I want? Some of us ain't never really... And I've told myself I wasn't going to get on here and try to get preachy. But as I speak, stuff just be coming to me. Some of you have never asked yourself, what do I want? It's about to be a season for a lot of y'all that y'all get selfish on some things. It's okay. Because you done gave up so much of your power, you never even said, what do I want? What do I want? You've been so busy taking care of your mama, your grandma, making sure them people over there is all right, making sure what do I want this year? Where am I? Where am I? I'm intentionally leaving pauses in here so you can answer these questions and write things down. Where am I? Where am I? And don't put your address. This is where I am. I'm Don. Don so-and-so. I'm 55 years old. Last year, this is how much I earned. That's not what I wanted to earn. I really wanted to earn this. This is what I wanted to accomplish. I didn't get that done. Right now, I'm living in a state that I wouldn't like to live in. Right now, I like where I am. I like my living arrangements. I'm assessing. I'm just throwing some ideas around, guys, for you to scribble. You can't do it wrong. The only thing that you can do wrong is not be honest with yourself. Now, why are we doing this? We're doing this because when we start to ask ourselves, what do we want? And we start to move into the second level of trying to get things accomplished and reach our goals. Some of the goals that we have and that we're going to set based on who we currently are, that guy ain't going to be able to get it done. You can't have a goal of being Mr. Olympian, but be a guy who doesn't go to the gym. Take your self-assessment. Look in the mirror. Who am I? Where am I going? What do I like to make? Who do I like to hang around? What do I want to drive? What am I driving? And people going to jump in this thing and say, well, why is that so important? Why is that so important? Because it's directly tied to if you feel happy or not. If you're not making the money you want to make, driving what you want to drive and living where you would like to live, if you don't feel safe in your home or you don't like your community, if you don't feel like your automobile is dependable, if you don't feel like you got enough money to take care of emergencies, that stuff affects your mental health. And we're trying to change character. So yes, you do have to address that. Yes, you do have to look at them elephants and the man in the mirrors and the monkeys in the closets. Our first thing is to assess, where am I? What's going on? What did I learn? What are my gifts in this season? What are my strengths that I pulled out of this season? After the assessment, I need you to imagine what's possible. Now I need you to go into your personal imagination of what's possible. What can I do? This might have been better if I had some music. What's even possible? And here's the thing. Oftentimes we estimate what we can get done in 1 year and underestimate what we can get done in 5 years. So when I'm saying what I can do, some of the things that you're imagining, it might not be a 1 year play. It's okay if it's a 5 year play. It's okay if it's a 10-year play. It's okay if it's a 15-year play. What can I do significantly about that big play in 2024? And I'm not even going to get deep into law of attraction stuff. It's easy to dump this in the law of attraction pile, but this is what any business would do. You are the CEO of your life. Well, this is what any business owner would do. When you're looking at the life of Bobby Johnson Enterprises, what do I want Bobby Johnson Enterprises to look like in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15? Don't be out there like a ship without a sail, bruv. Shout out to the UK. Now, once you start and you got your list and your imagination is flowing, this is when I like to bring in your conversation with God. People might debate the conversation with God should come before this or come after this. It's up to you. God, I hold these imaginations up to you. These are the things that I like to do. Help me strike out anything on this list that's not of you and not in your will for my life. Show me the things and the items that's in my imagination of what I want to do and what I want to pursue. Show me any one of them things that's not of you. Let me go ahead and strike them off. Anything on here that you've been telling me to do, that's even anything that's not on here that you need me to do, show me what it is and let me add it. It ain't no sense in taking no action steps on none of this until you get God check off on it. And it ain't going to be a tap on your shoulder. Hey, thumbs up. You may go. This is God. You have to you develop your own relationship with God. Now, once that's done, now we got stuff we can take action on. If it ain't my time to get a new car, God, strike it off my list. But if it is, when the Big Boss Man Collective moves over to goal setting stage, I'm gonna put that as one of my goals. I'm taking that serious. I assessed where I was. I used my imagination to get ideas of where I want to be and how I want to look. And I submitted it over to you for your review. Strike off what ain't right. Tailor what need to be tailored. Make your edits and send it back. And I'm going to walk it out on this earth. Because here's the thing. God is telling some of y'all some stuff that you're going to have to take a class on it. Like, it requires certifications. You can't skip out on that. You're going to have to take your class. You know, you can't play. Go back to my other live stream from, I think it was a couple days ago. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. See, if I take my imagination and I mix with whatever God's asking me to do, and I make sure we trying to get the same things accomplished and we on the same page, my faith level dumb high. My faith level is dumb high when I do that. It's when I go on my own and I don't know if I got God check off on it or not. It's when my faith get weary. But when we on the same page, I done ran it by, my faith level is high. So based on everything we've discussed in here, my appropriate response is to act. My appropriate response is, okay, now, because now we're going to go from imagery to strategy. And from strategy to tactics. And from tactics to goal achievement. But we need to go all the way back and even be able to imagine what's possible for us again. And some of y'all been through things that's so tough that you stopped imagining. Don't let nobody steal your imagination. I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to pause right here. If you see this video by itself, then when I pick back up, let me rephrase it. I'm going to pause right here. And I'm going to do the rest of this on Patreon. Peace.